This show's called Drewz Viewz. I'm doing Car Tuesday with Steven Universe, so check it out, okay? Now people love the verse, like, subscribe even. Now let's sit back and watch me watch it. Steven! Hey, we got Drewz Viewz here, back for a little Car Tuesday, reacting to cartoons on Tuesday. Steven Universe, The Verse, Season 4. Today I'm doing episodes 7 and 8 and 9, because just like last season's Bismuth episode, there's apparently another two-banger today. Another two-parter, extra long one, I guess, 22-minute, I would assume, around there. And so that's good, though, because then, just like last season, I think I'll be able to end the season on a nice even number, since I normally do 2 per Drewz Viewz reaction. So, don't know what these episodes are going to be about today, but last time on, first we had Steven breaking another thing down at the arcade, one of Mr. Smiley's machines, kind of a future-telling thing. For a second, I thought it was going to be a big parody, but no, it was more of Steven just stepping in to try to help people like he likes to do. People still not realizing it's him, like Sadie and Lars, and then getting mixed up with this sad sack British guy who apparently had used to be Mr. Smiley's comedy partner. They had like a Smiley Frowny type duo apparently, and he tried to get them reconnected. Then in the second episode, we had Pearl out here in the streets trying to be cool and talk to some hot girls, I guess. I mean, one specific one that looks like Rose. So they went to a house show, I guess you'd call it a garage band, for Amethyst and Steven, and realized she's cooler than maybe she thought, or at least she was able to talk to this girl. So I don't know where they're going to necessarily go with this plot line, if we're going to see this kind of Rose-like human again, but it would be interesting if we do. I don't think it'll be today if we do, though. In any event, time to jump right in with episode 7 here. Alright, I like that episode. It still didn't push the plot, really, this episode's today, but it's good character stuff. I'd say it probably didn't necessarily need to be the extra long one. I'm not sure why they picked that as this one, if it's only one for the season. But I'm kind of glad that they did it at the same time, because let it breathe a little bit more character interactions and stuff. And we did get some answers that I had been wondering about. Number one, well, I don't know if we got confirmed on this before, but it is America. I mean, Andy said they're in America, so even though Beach City's not real and they're calling it like Empire City instead of New York, whatever, it's still supposed to be, I guess, America. And then Greg's name is really Greg DeMeo, which makes a lot more sense than Universe. Because initially when the show first started, I was like, before I even knew anything as much, about all the family and everything, I was like, assumed Universe was like Steven's mom's name or whatever, but then it was, you usually go by your dad's last name anyway, though, so that wouldn't have made sense either. But Universe, because it's like they're from the universe, the stars or whatever. But then we saw it was Greg Universe, but so he just made that name up himself for like his music name, and then just legally changed it. All right, so glad to get that information, and it doesn't make a lot more sense now. And then it's cool to see more. Steven has another relative. I guess he has more than just that. I don't know if we'll meet them or what, but he was calling him Uncle Andy. He wanted to be called Uncle, but he is, like they said, first cousin once removed, I guess, is technically what he is. And there's some other relatives around, and it's a good point. Like he said, I could, at a certain point, I was relating to the character, and that, like, people move away, everything changes, your cousin move, you don't have the family reunions anymore, all that. People get older, do their own thing. But then, like he said, he has a plane, he could have been visiting people, trying to catch up. I mean, like, you lose touch with people, certainly, even your own relatives or whatever, but it's, you should know if you're, well, I'm not saying you should know, but if you grew up with someone like a cousin, and then it's kind of weird not to know if they have kids or something, you know, or not even hear from them for like 20 years or whatever. I like that whole element, and then I really like that. I mean, I like the whole element also of all the gems talking amongst each other. Like, it's funny to have like an outsider in there in a lot of different shows and things. They do stuff like this, but to have an outsider that doesn't know what's going on, but when you as the viewer and all the other characters know, it's like almost like inside jokes or whatever, but or references. But it's a good table scene there. It was like it could have been like a Thanksgiving episode, I guess. I mean, they even had a turkey on the table there, even though it seemed like they only grew vegetables. So I guess they picked that up from the store. But of course, Steven was gonna want to know his family more and not give up on someone that constantly recurs on this show. And yeah, some funny, like I said, since it was a longer episode, more stuff, more time to breathe, a little more character stuff was able to happen then. Even like a couple minutes at the beginning, checking in more with Lapis and Peridot. Always like seeing them, and they were very funny this ep. Their dynamic is good. Let me think, what else? Did we learn anything else new from this, though, besides the things that I mentioned? Well, yeah, I guess I was initially confused about the Steven's powers thing by creating that pumpkin, but then I remembered he did create those watermelon people. I guess it was in the same way. So I guess, so where's the line between just healing something and like making an inanimate object come to life, whatever, you know, like basically like fantasiaing things and whatnot. I don't know if we'll explore that more, because even with the watermelons, that was quite a while ago. We haven't really seen him do something like that since till this episode, I guess. So yeah, and he said they can have the barn. I mean, I don't know how he's necessarily going to take it from them anyway. And I did initially, you know, like he did have a point there. Like it wasn't, even though no one was using this stuff, you know, they're just using it for their own purposes, just taking it, doing whatever. Of course, there's the added layer of them being the gems, the aliens, basically, that don't understand as much about human life and society in the first place. But I think it's supposed to like show how people do that in real life too. And then there's kind of a debate you can have, like, because a lot of things he was saying were wrong too. So look about legal aliens and all this stuff. So, you know, I could see both sides on some of these issues here. So yeah, that was an enjoyable one. Liked it. He is like I just mentioned it during the interaction, but he did remind me of a Simpsons character, even the voice and look and everything. But I guess Greg does a little bit too, but even more so with this guy. But anyway, I will be back next time now it'll be an odd number starting, I guess, since that was, or rather, no, I normally start that number, it'll be an even number starting now, so 10 and 11 next time of season 4. Join me back for that one. Please do to subscribe if you're not already. Leave me some comments, like all of that jazz, and join me back next time for the verse. Until then, I'm gonna fly on out of here. Peace.
This to the family.